If you guys can make a flag football team for the 2028 Olympics out in LA and you could only use current and former Jets and Giants players, who would you grab? Ryan, let's have some fun with this. We got me, a New York Post sports producer and host of the Gangs All Here podcast, Ryan Sampson. Let's go head to head with our list, man. We've already kind of have an idea of who's got what. I already know I'm crown king, Olympic gold right here. So I'll let you do the honors. We got five on offense, five on defense. We'll go quarterback and running back first, and then we'll go three receivers. We'll talk about the offense. Go.
Listen, you're a Giants guy, former Giants wide receiver. You cover the Giants really well. I'm a Jets fan, obviously. There's some bias here in the list that we have here, but
there's not. I used to hang with the Jets all the time. We used to go party with the Jets all the time. Remember, that's when the Giants and Jets were good at football, so you could go out on your off day.
I'm going to let my list do the speaking here for us. I'll start off with quarterback and running back right now. My starting quarterback's Justin Fields. Out of all the history of the Jets and Giants, Justin Fields is by far the most athletic quarterback that any of these New York franchises have ever had, and you cannot deny that. The kid is special with the ball in his hands, especially when he's running and moving on the pocket. So if he ever has pressure in a flag football game, I expect him to pick up huge chunk yards. He has the arm to throw it deep. He can beat you in coverage. I am so happy to have Justin Fields as my pick. And running back, the most talented running back you could argue in the NFL right now, and probably in the last 20, 25 years, Saquon Barkley is my running back.
See, I'm with you on the Saquon one because you don't need an offensive line, and that's what the Giants couldn't produce him when he was here. So I'm with you on Saquon, but Justin Fields, do you bench him after the sixth game like the Steelers did with Russell Wilson? So I'm going to push back on that Russell Wilson with the greatest quarterback to ever come out of the 757 who played for the Jets. I'm sorry, Tyrod Taylor. Michael Vick. Michael Vick back there would be just completely exciting. I'd sign up for it. And then LaDainian Tomlinson. He was the Giant in me can't say LT, but the Jets and Chargers LT, 42 and 52 catches his last two-year NFL career years. The last 2 years of it when he was with the Jets.
He was very effective with the Jets. He was very effective. They used him really well, and he still had a lot left in the tank. Because remember when the Jets got LT, they didn't know what kind of running back they were going to get because this was a guy who was legit a Hall of Famer already with the Chargers. Yep. He's coming towards the end of his career. That 2010 season was special with the Jets. He was a huge impact on the offense. I love that pick for LT, but Michael Vick came for 1 year, and he didn't play that many games, and this wasn't prime Michael Vick. I mean, if you're telling me I'm getting Madden 2005, 2006 Michael Vick, I'm with you. But if you're talking about New York Jets Michael Vick, I'd have an issue picking that quarterback.
We're getting a Sega Genesis version of Michael Vick, not a PlayStation Madden type Michael Vick.
The Madden Vick was unbeatable. Unreal. You could not defeat Michael Vick in Madden at all in those prime years.
All right. I'm saying we're kind of balanced. We're kind of tied right now with our picks. Go wide receivers. Go.
My starting three wide receivers. Number 1, Odell Beckham Jr. Ooh. There is no doubt in my mind this guy, Malik Neighbors, hopes to get there. But Odell Beckham took over this city. In such a short amount of time, there was no bigger superstar at the wide receiver position for both New York franchises. Odell took over the city. He's an incredible athlete. I loved him coming out of LSU. He can make any catch. Obviously, everyone remembers the one-handed catch against Cowboys. But I would take Odell. You could throw a slant to him, and he's going yard, and no one's touching him. So I got Odell as my number 1 wide receiver. Number 2, it's Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, you give me the number 2 wide receiver. If Odell's getting the number 1 coverage, give me Garrett Wilson to break that number 2. I think Garrett has still not reached his prime. We haven't seen his full potential. He hasn't played with great quarterbacks. But guess what? I'm pairing him with his former college teammate, Justin Fields, who's done a lot of 7-on-7 work with Garrett Wilson. I like that flag football team. And finally, my 3rd wide receiver, I got to go with Keyshawn Johnson.
Ooh, just give him the ball, Ryan.
Keyshawn Johnson. People forget how goddamn good that guy was on the football field. You're talking about a former number 1 overall pick. He lit the city up as well during the 90s. Give me Keyshawn. That's a hell of a starting 3 for my wide receiver core.
I love it. Absolutely love it because Keyshawn, he was the fastest 4.6 I ever seen in my life, and people always used to call me a JV Keyshawn when I was playing. So I have nothing. All I can do is say great pick when it comes to Keyshawn, but allow me to retort because I've got Jets Brandon Marshall. Oh my gosh, that kid. He was absolutely special. 195 catches in 2 years. I heard a story that he used to take a helicopter from Brooklyn to Florham Park. I got to have somebody like that on my team. Plaxico Burress. Obviously, I mean, I used to watch this dude do some special things on one leg. I remember growing up watching him.
Yeah.
He's from 757 as well. But Plaxico Burress, what he was able to do to like the Sean Taylors, the Lito Shepherds, in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude was absolutely gold.
You can make an argument Plaxico Burress was the best wide receiver in the NFL in that 2007-2008 years because him and Eli just had an incredible connection. Considering what he was doing in Pittsburgh, which wasn't reaching his full potential, when he came to New York, he was unstoppable. No one could beat Plaxico Burress.
And he did it on one leg. The man didn't practice throughout the week, then would just show up and go 9 for $180 with 2 touchdowns. His body should be studied by the aliens one day. And then last but not least, I got my little not scat back, but my little slot receiver, Mr. Third and Smith, Steve Smith. Before Malik Neighbors broke his franchise record of catches in a season with 109. Steve Smith had 107. That dude should have stayed and got paid by the Giants, but he left. Whatever happened after that. But Steve Smith was such a reliable third down wide receiver. I was gonna go Wayne Corbett, but Steve Smith was also my roommate back in 2007.
No bias here whatsoever.
No bias at all. But people don't realize like that run towards the end of the season that he had he not broken his collarbone in the preseason, he would be one of the greatest Giants receivers of all time.
That's
easily.
Saying something.
This Third and Smith, that dude, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 8, we knew where Eli was going with that football because we knew Steve Smith was going to be open.
Can I retort here a little bit?
Go ahead.
You chose Steve Smith over 2 wide receivers for the Giants that I think could take offense to the fact that you did this.
Malik Neighbors is one.
No.
For sure. Who?
Victor Cruz.
Yep.
And let's not forget about Amani Toomer, who's the best wide receiver in Giants history.
I just needed a shorter guy, and I was going to go with Vic, obviously a UMass
Victor Cruz
guy.
was incredible at the slot. You played college with him.
I was going to go with him, but I had to go with my guy Steve Smith because had Steve Smith not left, that was what opened up the door for Victor Cruz. I know.
Victor Cruz lit the league on fire.
On fire. Trust me, had me as a grown man.
And you got him sitting on the sideline watching Steve Smith running routes on your flag football team.
Steve Smith was special, man. He was absolutely special.
I know, but I watched Victor Cruz literally torch my Jets for 99 yards.
I saw that. And one of my corners on this list
what I'm
is who we got.
I don't know how you could pick that.
All right.
That's crazy. All right, let's go defense, man.
I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first on
then.
defense.
All right, I'm going with the Cromarties. For the Giants, I'm going DRC to get some speed out there. Dominic Rogers-Cromartie. I mean, the dude had hands, and he'll catch it. When he got his hands onto an interception, it was good night, Betty. I remember watching some practices where he would be step for step with the Odell, make a play against him here and there, but Odell was absolutely king when it came to that. And then Antonio Cromartie. I like long-limbed, long-bodied receivers. I think he could get some hands on the Odell. I think he would lock Keyshawn Johnson up-ish. No disrespect to Keyshawn, but I just like him out there to get hands-on and to be a force out there. Who you got?
Who's your third corner there before we get to the safeties pick there?
I have a hybrid.
You have a hybrid.
It's a hybrid guy. The greatest safety in Giants history, Emlyn Tunnell.
Okay.
And that's a throwback right there. You have 0 throwbacks on this list.
I do.
So, you do?
No, I have one throwback on my list.
All right. 74 career interceptions as a Giant. I know he played in the 50s, and it was a long time ago. But, hey, these kids are wearing those little hats now, and he wore that back in the day when the NFL was the NFL. So I had to throw him out there. Absolute ball hawk.
All right.
And he's going to match up well with my safeties.
I like those picks. I love the Cromartie pick.
Yeah.
For me, the best cornerback in New York football history, Darrelle Revis. Not even a question. Again, you missed out. I don't know why you didn't pick Darrelle. I would take Darrelle Revis over any of those guys. He's my starting number 1 corner. He'll lock down any of your receivers. And any receiver, I think, if you were going to play flag football championships for the USA, he'd be the starting corner against Deion Sanders if you're going really all-time of NFL. Darrelle Revis, number 1. Number 2, Corey Webster, New York Giants corner. I loved watching Corey Webster play corner. That guy was physical.
Yeah, he was.
He can get after the ball. He knew how to play the ball in the air. You could put him up against your number 1 and number 2 receiver. I liked Corey's aggressiveness. he was a good football player. I don't think he got enough credit during that Giants run. I really liked Corey Webster. And then my third corner, hybrid player, throwback, Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn. I could put Aaron Glenn was a dang good corner.
On Steve Smith, though?
If you're telling me I'm getting Aaron Glenn, first round pick for the Jets, played in Bill Parcells' defense, part of those years of the Jets that went to the playoffs multiple times, give me Aaron Glenn to be my safety / corner hybrid player there. Those are my 3 starting corners right there for the defense.
I got 2 6'4", 6'5" guys on that outside. And I mean, Brandon Marshall, I would have loved to see Brandon Marshall in his prime versus Darrelle Revis twice a year.
We did get that in 2015. That was, if you remember, 2015 during training camp, those guys went at it. And that was appointment television in 2015 between those two.
Almost like Garrett Wilson and Sauce going back and forth. So it's like history kind of repeats itself. For my safeties, Antrell Roll, when he was a Giant leader, absolute dog. And, again, he's another hybrid guy. I was going to go Landon Collins, but I think Antrell gives you more on the coverage end of it. And then Ed Reed. I knew he was a little older when he came to the Giants.
His last year of
football. So maybe if I could have gotten an older Ed Reed, but I mean, absolutely. It's just like that Michael Vick pick. You grab these guys because of their aura, because of what they did at the time. Plus, I thought they were going to spice my list up a little bit. But
no better safety ever to play the game, in my opinion.
Over Polamalu?
Over Polamalu.
Over Polamalu.
Ed Reed was a true ball hawk.
We agree.
That guy, when Peyton Manning saying in Hall of Fame speeches that there's no better safety that could read me and beat me, that was Ed Reed. Ed Reed was the best I've ever seen do it. I respect that. That's a very good starting safeties right there. For me, I'm going former Jet Kerry Rhodes.
Oh, Kerry Rhodes.
Underrated career with the Jets. 26 career interceptions. Knew how to play the ball in the air. Physical. Dude is yoked. Used to have some insane gym pics that he used to post on social media back in 2009, 2010. I like Kerry Rhodes. That's one of my starting safeties. And then I'm gonna force someone out of position here because we haven't talked about him yet. Sauce Gardner. I'm putting him as a starting safety.
All right.
I know a lot of people are getting on Sauce. He's not physical. He's not a great tackler.
It's flag football.
It's flag football. You got to pull flags and you got to play the ball in the air. Give me Sauce in space. I'm putting him a little bit out of position. I put him at safety, and I think that's a great secondary right there.
So we've had these two go, Revis and Sauce go back and forth a little bit on who's the better corner. You're basically saying it's Revis for sure because you moved positions for Sauce just to make room for him in that
Brandon,
secondary.
Revis was at the end of your career right there a little bit.
I played against
Revis. Have you ever seen a better corner in person?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That guy locked down everyone.
Everybody.
It was quarterbacks just didn't even throw over there. They just I'm not even going to look at that side of the field. So I don't even think it's a question. I think Sauce, 2 All-Pro years, the first 2 years of your career, he struggled a lot in year 3. He's going to have a big bounce back year, I think, in Aaron Glenn's defense because he's playing for a contract, right? He sees all these deals being handed out the rest of the NFL for these top corners. He knows he's due for a contract, but I do need to ask him, what's the deal with Ice Spice? Like he's dating her, right? Like
that's celebrity. He's walking red carpet at Michael Rubin's Fanatics parties. Now is that year this is a huge year for Sauce, not just on the field, but off the field as well in terms of stardom. We never saw Revis take full advantage of his celebrity or the opportunities to be a celebrity. He's a football guy.
He was all football.
Nowadays, football is a little bit different. Sauce, he was courtside with Ice Spice. You want to up those tickets and be next to Fat Joe, you got to have a huge year on the field because this is the place. If you're going to blow up, this is the place to do it.
Was it Ice Spice or Sexy Red? I'm totally off right now. I have no idea.
So was your roster for the 2028 Olympics. Who you guys got? My roster, Ryan's roster, and we all also want to know who we missing out. Go ahead, throw some down. Gold medal, bronze.
No.
No. We'll see in these comments, though. We're going to see in these comments.